Major cool down in the east with a building heat wave in the western United States and an active weather pattern will persist through this week into next week. Stick around to see where our next flash flooding event could occur, as well as the tropical weather will be igniting as we move in towards the end of August. Welcome back, everybody. Good Wednesday morning. If you guys have not subscribed, everybody go press that subscribe button down below and like the video. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely helps to, improve the page and definitely helps to support the channel. Definitely appreciate it, guys. So good Wednesday morning out there. We got a lot of colors in the western United States. We got the oranges here, that is heat advisories. In the pinks here, we definitely have, the red flag warnings and also the excessive heat warnings across Pacific Northwest from Washington down to Oregon, western Idaho, into north central California, where they'll be sweating it out with lots of 100-degree heat expanding in those areas. Meanwhile, to the east, the lack of colors here on the map does mean we have a cool down that will be moving in here as we head towards late this week. So breaking this down, we have a ridge across the western United States, and underneath these ridges, as you guys know, we have a lot of heat building across the western United States from the Intermountain West towards the west coast here, and a lot of heat will be building, especially in this here as we move into the weekend time frame here, and that will continue, like I said, here towards the weekend. That ridge will really back off to the west here and start to amplify a little bit farther north towards southwestern Canada, bringing that heat all the way up into Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia here into southwestern Canada, as well as the western United States. Looking at your temperatures, however, with the cool down across the middle of the country, getting down towards the deep south, one more day with extreme heat down into Texas, and I do think that, the much anticipated cool down will, arrive as we head into your Thursday afternoon. But for this afternoon, widespread upper 90s to lower 100s across central and east Texas here, but the cool down is already in sight here across portions of Kansas and northern Oklahoma, getting over toward Arkansas here with high temperatures into the upper 70s and lower 80s in these areas. Meanwhile, we have the ridge off to the western United States with multiple areas reaching the middle 90s, if not the 100-degree mark or higher across portions of Washington State, Oregon State, into Idaho, all the way down through Nevada and central and southern California there, as they'll be sweating it out with multiple areas potentially getting close to record territory across the Pacific Northwest here this afternoon. As we move into Thursday, there's your cool down for Texas and Oklahoma, guys. Middle to upper 80s across those areas and lower humidity. Definitely a nice day to get outside. Again, that heat will continue across the western United States, but guys, the upper Midwest and New England here, some of these areas might kind of remain in the upper 60s to lower 70s. Again, refreshing air will be infiltrating portions of the eastern United States as we move into the late week, and that will continue here into your Friday. Again, we'll start to warm up a little bit in the southern plains here just due to that drought, but again, lower 90s is a far cry from our heat wave we had just a few weeks ago. So we'll take it across portions here of North Texas into Oklahoma as well. So kind of looking at this as well, with that active weather pattern, we have a marginal risk for severe weather, some isolated strong to severe storms from East Texas eastward towards Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and portions along the immediate Gulf Coast here in Mississippi, Alabama, northern Florida, and southern portions there of Georgia. A couple of these storms could be capable of producing wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, as well as some quarter-size hail. The tornado risk is actually less than 2%, so we're actually not looking at any rotating storms today, mainly just some damaging straight-line winds and some medium to slightly large hail, like I said, with hail up to around quarter size. Looking at this using the composite reflectivity here, the complex of some showers and storms across the mid-south here, lower Missouri Valley, getting in toward the Little Rock area as we head through the morning hours. That will propagate here to the south and east towards eastern Arkansas, northern Mississippi as we move into this afternoon, bringing some heavier rainfall, maybe a couple stronger storms into north central Mississippi as we head into the afternoon time frame, 2, 3, 4 o'clock. And then as we get towards the evening hours here, we'll start to see more storms firing up along the immediate Gulf Coast here toward Jackson, Mississippi, Alexandria, Louisiana, maybe Tyler, Texas here on east toward the Tuscaloosa, Birmingham area, Mobile, Alabama. A lot of these areas will be experiencing here some scattered showers and storms later on today here. With that marginal risk in place, like I said, we could be seeing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and some, marginally severe hail, with hail that could be up to around quarter size as well. Some showers and storms expected across portions there of the western Dakotas as well. Those aren't expected to be severe, but some heavy rainfall producers and maybe some pea-size hail out of those. And again, the monsoonal moisture will provide some much-needed and beneficial rains across the south southwestern United States across portions of Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona as we head into this afternoon. And again, as we move into the overnight hours, we'll start to see the storm coverage start to decrease in intensity as we kind of move into the after sunset time frame here this evening. Looking ahead to tomorrow, your Thursday out there, we got a couple areas we're watching for some isolated stronger storms, one across east central Nebraska, another one down towards southeast Texas into southern Louisiana, Mississippi, and portions of Alabama, and then another one across the northern Florida Peninsula into southern portions of Georgia there, where we could have a couple more storms that could produce some 60-mile-per-hour winds and some quarter-size hail. That will persist as we head into Friday, this time moving up towards the Missouri Valley here from central Iowa down through portions of northwestern Missouri into eastern Kansas, including the Des Moines area down towards Kansas City, Missouri, as we head into your Friday afternoon. And looking ahead too, as well as we head, move into your Friday afternoon, we'll have a cutoff low. Kind of when I mean cutoff low is that the main jet stream is actually going to be across the southern United States. So a low pressure system will develop and kind of remain cut off from the main flow in the jet stream, which will make it kind of meander very slowly across the upper Midwest, bringing persistent showers and storms across portions of Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois as we head into this weekend. That will continue as we head into Saturday as well, and even your Sunday. So kind of looking at this here as we move into Friday here afternoon time frame, some scattered showers and storms can be expected across the Twin Cities area, up towards portions of Madison, Wisconsin, the La Crosse area, back toward the eastern Dakotas. Again, we got that monsoonal moisture that will continue across the southwestern United States, and even some more scattered showers and storms across portions of the Carolinas into the southeast on Friday. But as I was talking about, with that cutoff low, cut off from the main jet stream energy, we'll have that kind of slowly push off to the east, bringing some showers and storms here, maybe some heavy rainfall to portions of northern Illinois, eastern Iowa, northeastern Missouri, and much of Wisconsin as we head into your Saturday. Not an all-day washout, but definitely keep the umbrella handy, as we could definitely be talking about some heavier rainfall for your Saturday in spots, and that will continue to kind of push off to the east here, bringing some much needed rainfall across portions of the southeast, and again, maybe some showers and storms across the Ohio Valley into the Great Lakes as well as we move into your Sunday. And again, that monsoonal moisture will be going strong across the Four Corners into the Texas Panhandle and the West Texas as we head into your Sunday afternoon as well. Looking at this here, the Climate Prediction Center 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from August 22nd to the 26th here. We're seeing below normal temperatures favored from the southwestern United States, including portions of New Mexico, Arizona, eastward towards Texas, Oklahoma, and getting over towards the western Tennessee Valley here. Near normal to, below normal temperatures favored there. You can definitely tell where that ridge will be, anchored across the western United States, where we have above normal temperatures, favored for portions of Washington, Oregon, getting down to northern California, northwestern Nevada there, and even into portions of Idaho as we move into next week. Maybe some slightly above normal temperatures across portions there of New England, all the way down the east coast towards Florida as well as we get here into next week. Looking at the precipitation here for next week, we have above normal precipitation likely across much of the Mid-South, getting back into North Texas, all the way east here towards the Nashville area here in the Music City. And then again, up towards portions here of the upper Midwest, we'll see a below normal signal for precipitation next week here, as well as the Pacific Northwest, as the northern jet stream is very inactive right now. We'll have a very active and energetic southern jet stream here, southern branch of the jet stream, bringing this active weather pattern not only for those monsoonal rains, but definitely some much needed and anticipated rain for much of North Texas, much of Texas here into portions of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and maybe even into western Tennessee as we head into next week. Looking a little farther out, going all the way toward the end here of August, again, that pattern will persist with below normal temperatures in those same locations from portions of the southwestern United States through Texas into portions of the Missouri Valley, into the western Ohio and Tennessee River valleys, slightly above normal here in the east with a little bit of that warming across the east coast. And again, that ridge will be very persistent here across the northwestern portions of the country, across the Pacific Northwest and the west coast here in north central California as we move into the August 24th through 30th period. And again, will remain very active across the southern United States here, across portions of the Tennessee Valley, the southeast, all the way up the east coast, especially in those monsoonal areas across the Four Corners as well. And again, the jet stream moving down to the south here with the main energy across the southern United States, you can definitely expect some below normal precipitation from the Pacific Northwest, the northern Rockies, the northern plains, and the upper Midwest as we get into that August 24th through 30th time frame. So looking at this here as we move into next week, kind of zooming out to kind of break down the weather pattern for you guys. Next Monday, it looks like that ridge will really be centered across the central plains on west here towards the southwestern United States, with that trough across the east bringing those cooler temperatures, that lower humidity, with that ridge continuing to back off to the west, that will allow that, that trough to kind of back off to the west a little bit more as well, bringing those cooler temperatures down into north and central Texas, into Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana, and really just along the immediate Gulf Coast as we head towards the middle of the week. It does look like that ridge will be across the western United States here on your Wednesday, August 24th. Then as we get into late next week into next weekend, there is a signal here on the European forecast model that there is a strong ridge that is really going to dominate not only the northwestern and western United States, but across much of the northeastern Pacific basin here, which will actually force this trough to really continue to stay parked across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, the New England region, all the way south towards the Gulf Coast as we head towards next weekend, with that persistent influx of moisture moving across portions of the southern United States here as well. But looking at this a little further across the western United States with this heat wave into next week, again, we'll start to see hints of that on Monday across portions of California, Nevada, and getting up into Idaho and portions here of eastern Montana. But it's really as we get towards middle and late portion of next week, as we get in towards that Wednesday time frame on August 24th, we'll see 100 start to make a return to portions of Washington, Oregon State, and lots of 100-degree temperatures, even up in some of these areas into central California, actually reaching near 110 degrees on your Wednesday, August 24th. And then as we get towards next weekend, guys, as we get a little bit closer there on your Friday, August 26th, widespread 100-degree temperatures from the Pacific Northwest all the way south towards Death Valley, guys, into Southern California here. We're definitely going to be sweating it out across the western United States. That is for sure. But looking again at the southern stream, jet stream, like I said, we'll have that cutoff low across portions here of the the Ohio Valley, the southern Great Lakes here as we move into early next week, even bringing some scattered showers and storms. But it's really the southern jet stream that really catches my eye with some of this energy rounding here, rounding this ridge once again. And we'll have a lot of this energy moving in with all the, monsoonal moisture moving up north here from western Mexico, providing the threat for some very heavy rainfall across parts of the southern plains as we head through next week. That will continue during the midweek time frame. Again, the main piece of the, the jet stream will be sitting right over the south central plains across the southeast and the east coast as we head towards Wednesday, August 24th. And that will really just continue here before we have a trough that may start to kind of dig in from portions of the southern and southeastern Canadian prairies as we head towards next weekend. We'll watch for potentially another cold front that could bring some more relief for some lower humidity and some lower temperatures, as well as more rainfall to portions of the central plains and the middle Mississippi Valley as we head towards next weekend. Looking at this, guys, the European forecast model here is really going very bullish here with the rainfall amounts. Very good news across Texas. We just don't need this all at once. This could set up a flash flooding event potentially across North Texas from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, getting up towards Wichita Falls, maybe up toward Amarillo here and all the way over towards Tyler, Texas. We'll have to watch this, guys. Some of the, weather forecast models are painting a very strong picture for some heavy rainfall at the very least. Potentially spread out here days at a time, but definitely if you could have one of these heavier rainfall, type of setups, and you could have a lot of heavy rainfall in, a 24 to 36 hour period, then sure, you could have some, runoff and some flash flooding. Again, the flash flooding threat is looking a little lower right now just due to the fact we have a strong drought across this area, but again, it won't take much to have a lot of that runoff even with the drought. So across portions of North Texas, if you look on the legend here, guys, the European forecast model between now and Friday, August 26th is actually showing here rainfall amounts north of a foot of rain across the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, getting up toward Wichita Falls and perhaps eastward towards Tyler, Texas. So we'll continue to watch that. And actually the ICON model, very accurate weather model as well, right along the Red River there from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, getting up toward Denton, Texas, the Texarkana area. We could be talking about widespread rainfall amounts here, anywhere from 3 to 6+ inches, potentially some areas getting up to 10 inches of rain across North Texas here as we get in through, the late portion here of August. So we'll continue to monitor that, guys. We could have another flash flooding event. I just didn't want to catch you guys off guard, and definitely wanted to tell you that information. So you guys are kind of prepared ahead of time. But looking at that drought, that is some good news across Texas. If we get some of that rainfall, again, we don't need it all at once, but if it can soak into the ground, definitely some beneficial news for this drought. As we in the red shaded colors, that is actually an extreme drought, and then the the maroon red colors, that's actually an exceptional drought, and that's the worst drought category you could have. So again, that would be some good news if we can get some of that beneficial rain across southern Oklahoma along the Red River there into much of Texas here as well. So that will be something to watch as we get a little bit closer. closer. And again, another La Nina update for you guys. Yeah, this has been dropping like a rock, pretty much like a free fall here the last few days. And really, we're actually in a moderate La Nina right now. This is here the Nino index showing a negative 0.9 here with the index for the La Nina. The negative values are La Nina. The zero value here is ENSO neutral, and the positive values are El Nino. And you guys, like I said, can clearly see if you extrapolate this here a little bit farther to the left here towards the chart, yeah, you can see negative 0.9 is actually what the status of the Nino index right now, which would characterize this as a moderate La Nina, which we're in right now. And actually, all trends do point toward a strong La Nina as we kind of finish off August and go in towards the early and middle part here of September. The reason for that here, the 7-day change here, the anomalies of the sea surface temperatures across the equatorial Pacific have been pretty impressive. We had a lot of bursts of some colder waters across this area west of South America getting across the equatorial Pacific. You can see these blue blobs that is showing up. That is actually the La Nina occurring across these areas, and with some bursts of some colder waters. And putting this all together, the sea surface temperature anomalies here very strong across the equatorial Pacific, from portions of the coast of Chile here all the way west toward the equatorial Pacific, towards the just south of Hawaii here. Definitely some strong cooling of the waters, and that would characterize this again as a moderate La Nina. And looking at this with the tropical weather perspective as well, the National Hurricane Center is highlighting an area across the Bay of Campeche here, across southwestern Gulf Coast here, actually the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, for a 10% chance of development here the next 5 days. That could move up here from portions of southern Mexico all the way up here towards the eastern Mexico coast, towards South Texas. We'll have to watch that over the next 5 to 10 days. And you can see that here with the European forecast model. We got some green showing up at the bottom center of your screen. That will propagate its way to the north and west as we head here towards this weekend, and that could bring another threat for some heavier rainfall across the Brownsville area here in Texas, maybe as far north as Corpus Christi. We'll have to wait and see, but again, this will also affect portions of northeastern Mexico as we head towards Saturday, August 20th here. That would be this weekend, and definitely have to watch out for some more heavy rainfall there. Looking at this with the vorticity, this is kind of showing you kind of the upper level spin here with this, and the mid and upper level spin here with any low pressure system that does decide to form. Looking at this here on your Friday, August 19th here this week, you can see a little bit of vorticity starting to show up across the Bay of Campeche, but that will move to the northwest and may still be over the open waters potentially as we get towards that Saturday, August 20th time frame here this Saturday. And again, this is going to be a very close call. If it's over the western Gulf here, this could be warm enough to maybe develop a tropical depression once again. But if it's a little more over land, it might not develop into a depression. It might actually stay more of an open wave. But still, either way, it looks like a heavy rain setup for portions there of northeastern Mexico and perhaps far southern Texas near the Brownsville area. We'll have to watch as we kind of move towards this weekend. And looking at this with the European forecast model, it does paint a picture here of some rainfall starting to move north and westward here across the western and southwestern Gulf towards northeastern Mexico, southern portions of Texas. That could be bringing areas of 1 to 2+ inches across portions there, especially of northeastern Mexico as we move towards this weekend into early next week. So that will definitely be something to keep an eye on. And with the hurricane season, at least the Atlantic hurricane season, really, in general, from August 23rd through the end of the month here of August, we're definitely still seeing those, the greens and the blue shaded colors here showing up across the southern Atlantic basin. That does indicate an active weather pattern is going to start to, move in as we get towards portions of the late August here, towards that last week in August, with these open waves of tropical weather here moving off of the western African coast towards portions here, like I said, of the southern Atlantic Ocean and potentially towards the Lesser Antilles. So we'll definitely have to watch that as we get towards that very last week here in August. And you can see that here with the European forecast model here. This is, this Friday, this is actually next Friday, and it's actually showing a pretty active pattern starting to set up here. We got the European forecast model, not as bullish, but has a 1,012 millibar low, a pretty open wave here across portions of the southern Atlantic basin. Again, right over the open waters, not affecting anybody, but the GFS is a little faster and a lot stronger here with the system that could develop towards the next weekend time frame. Again, this is getting close. We're only about 10 to 14 days out, so I did want to kind of highlight this. And you can see the GFS is actually 978 millibar low, which would make that a strong hurricane, potentially a category 2 or 3 hurricane as we get here towards next weekend. So we'll continue to watch it, guys. Again, there's a lot of disagreement on the European forecast model and the GFS operational model, so we'll continue to watch this again as we move a little bit closer. But nonetheless, here looking back at the United States here in general across the mainland United States, as we move into September, guys, we're still going to remain pretty active with the cooler weather here in those troughs remaining across the center of the country and in the eastern United States, with that ridge persisting through much of September, potentially across portions here of the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast down into California, as well as southwestern Canada. And looking at the precipitation anomalies here, some very good news across portions here of the desert Southwest and the Rockies, and across Texas here and the Gulf Coast. We could be seeing above normal precipitation moving into September of 2022 here. So that is, definitely some very good news considering we're in extreme and exceptional drought across Texas and into portions here of the deep south as well. So definitely some beneficial rains are in the near future across these areas. So that is definitely some good news. Thank you guys for watching and staying with me here through this long video, definitely breaking down the weather pattern for you guys. Definitely remember to like it down below, leave a comment down below what you think here for the upcoming tropical storm season as well. And guys, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Definitely appreciate it, guys. Our goal is still 1,000 subscribers. All of you guys, please subscribe and like the video down below, and leave your comments below as well. Thank you guys very much. Have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you guys in the next video.